I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. This week I'm finally getting to my review of Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 2023. Let's get into it. The opening match was technically not a Ring of Honor match. It was a AAA match for the AAA Mega Championship, as Commander challenged El Hijo del Vikingo, son of the Viking. I can't say there was no build-up because I really don't know. I don't watch AAA, so even though for most of us in America who don't watch AAA there wasn't any build-up, the match was still very exciting. Most of the match was spent on the ropes. A lot of crazy luchador action, and even something that was a little cringeworthy. When El Hijo del Vikingo outside did his 630 senton onto Commander onto a table that didn't break. That's always cringing because I just imagine it hurts a lot more when the table doesn't break than when it does. And I went until El Hijo del Vikingo got his 630 senton onto Commander, got the pin, and retained his AAA Mega Championship. Like I said, as far as I know, there was no build-up, there's no story to this. However, story was told in the ring, so I gotta give it points for that. Not to mention, anytime you watch a match with El Hijo del Vikingo, it's freaking awesome. If you haven't seen any, you're on the YouTubes. After watching this, go look up some of those matches. They're freaking cool. I would give the opener a 4 out of 5. Yeah! Second match for the Ring of Honor 6-Man Tag Team Championships. AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Metalik challenged the Embassy. It was chaotic. But again, something I talk about a lot. There is a time when it gets too chaotic. A chaotic match can be exciting, but when it's so chaotic that you really have trouble following it, that's just not good. And that was the situation. It was too chaotic. I couldn't really follow what was going on because there was too much going on. The human brain can only take so much. So really the only thing I can talk about with this match is how it ended, which was Brian Cage getting the win for the Embassy. They retained their 6-Man Tag Team Championships. It was entertaining enough that I would give it a 3 out of 5. The third match was for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, as Yuka Sakazaki challenged champion Athena. I mean, sort of. It was actually Athena who challenged Yuka Sakazaki to come after her title. But Yuka Sakazaki is the challenger for the title. You know what I mean? And during this, Athena debuted the new Ring of Honor Women's World Championship belt, which looks very similar to the previous one. Only two differences. One, this belt is nickel-plated instead of gold-plated, and it has the new Ring of Honor logo on it. Throughout the card, we saw 4 new Ring of Honor championships. And of course, people who know me personally know I'm a belt mark. They've been messaging me constantly like, hey, what do you think of the new Ring of Honor championships? I'm going to go ahead and do them individually. As far as this one, I don't really like it. I think it looks much better with gold plating than nickel. I don't care about the logo, but I don't really like it. I think being nickel plated it makes it look a little ugly. The match itself, it was good. It was hard-hitting. Athena dominated most of the match until she got the win over Yuka Sakazaki. There was a little bit of build-up to this match, but only a little bit. It was more just a champion wanting to prove herself against a top competitor who's not even a competitor in Ring of Honor Japan. But then again, it's not unheard of for Ring of Honor championships to go to Japan competitors, so whatever. It was a good match. I'd easily give it a 3 out of 5. The fourth match, which I kind of feel should have been in a different place on the card, but okay. For the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, Mark Briscoe challenged Samoa Joe. I say it should have been different on the card. I think it should have either been the opener or closer to the end. Because, in my opinion, this was the most built-up match, and it was the match that most of us were anticipating the most. Of course, you know, Mark Briscoe, since his brother Jay died and he's having to relinquish the tag team championships, has said it is his destiny to be the Ring of Honor television champion. A title he's challenged for many times in the past, but always come up short. This match was a great match. Besides the drama of the backstory, there was also the drama of the match itself. I mean, for one, it wasn't a hardcore match, yet they found ways around that. Like, it really didn't stop Mark Briscoe from setting up a table and putting Samoa Joe through it. At one point, Mark Briscoe got the froggy bow onto Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe was able to kick out. Then, when it looked like Mark Briscoe was about to put it away using the J Driller, Samoa Joe not only escaped it, but was able to reverse it into his coquina clutch until Mark Briscoe passed out. Meaning, by referee stoppage, Samoa Joe retained his championship. I know a lot of people were disappointed in that outcome because with Jay Briscoe having passed away not that long ago, they wanted Mark Briscoe to have that feel-good story. I honestly think it's coming, and I think it's kind of a good thing that he didn't win his first time out. I do feel like this is a story that could go on for a little bit more, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future. This match, easily though, just for everything going on in it, couldn't do any less than a 5 out of 5. Yeah! Fifth match, Daniel Garcia challenging Hiroshi Tanahashi. It was a great match, it was just pointless. There was no build-up to this at all, there's no real rivalry at all. It was just Daniel Garcia challenging him. Kind of a filler match. And it was a really good match, however, I do feel bad for them being on right after Mark Briscoe and Samoa Joe. It was really hard to follow that, plus we were all emotional from that match. Surprisingly though, Garcia took most of this match to Tanahashi, which I would never have expected. I really figured most of the match was going to be Tanahashi. However, after a hard-fought match, Tanahashi got to the top rope and did a frog splash. Very weak-looking one, but honestly it added drama because you could just see how tired he was. And he got the win over Daniel Garcia, which I expected. Daniel Garcia is great, he's definitely an up-and-comer, but I don't know if he's on the caliber of a Hiroshi Tanahashi yet. But as good as this one was, I didn't feel it was quite good enough to get to a 4, but easily a 3 out of 5. Yeah! The sixth match, another really anticipated match this night, the Reach for the Sky ladder match, where we were going to crown the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, with 5 teams competing in one ladder match. The teams Aussie Open versus Top Flight versus La Faction Ingobernable versus The Kingdom versus the Lucha Brothers. And of course, this was another one of the new belts to debut that night, the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Quick review of these belts. They look good. They don't look better than the ones that they replaced, which always hurts. Honestly, I would say I kind of like them, but I would actually put them at the very bottom of the list of best tag team titles in Ring of Honor. One, the main plate, in my opinion, is a little bit small. I do like, however, that the grapplers on the side plates are the Briscoes, so it's like a tribute title, if you will. It's okay. As far as the match itself, it was the good kind of chaos. Very chaotic, but not so chaotic that I couldn't follow what was going on. A lot of brutal things going on, like pile drivers on the stage. Of course, a standard in ladder matches now, somebody getting put through a ladder. Only thing that was like bad chaos was Dante Martin's leg getting broken. Penta El Zé Romero was doing a Canadian Destroyer from a bridged ladder over a table, but what actually hurt Dante Martin was when he flipped and the way he landed on his leg. It broke, it's required surgery, and it's a little ironic that it's Dante Martin considering Darius Martin having been gone for so long over 2 knee injuries. But it was soon after that that Rey Fenix of the Lucha Brothers got up the ladder and retrieved the belts, making the Lucha Brothers the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. I think from the moment it was announced, we all figured it was going to end up being a 5 out of 5. Yeah! The 7th match for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Of course, under Pure Championship rules. Katsuyori Shibata versus champion Wheeler Yuta. And yes, this one also had a new belt. This new championship, though, actually debuted about a week before. And again, I have people asking me, what do you think of the new Ring of Honor Pure Championship? It looks almost exactly the same as the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. The only difference is in the middle it says Pure. The grapplers on the side plates are a little different. And in the center plate there are grapplers instead of a globe. That's about it. I feel the same way as I feel about the Tag Team Championships, that they look almost exactly like. I think the main plate is a little small. I don't like that it looks almost exactly the same as another championship. But whatever. I would not say it's an improvement over the previous Pure Championship. Now the match itself. At one point, Wheeler Yuta hit Shibata with a low blow, which he didn't get caught doing, but he did get caught immediately after punching him with a closed fist. As we know in Pure rules, you hit somebody with a closed fist, you get 1 warning. Second time you get disqualified, and you can lose the championship on a disqualification. But his dirty tactics didn't matter because around the 13-minute mark, Shibata hit Yuta with the PK, punt kick, and got the pin and became the new Ring of Honor Pure Champion. It's a Pure Rules match, and it was really awesome. It had its drama. I would give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then the main event for the Ring of Honor Championship. Eddie Kingston challenging Claudio Castagnoli. Can't say that this match hasn't had any build-up. This match has been built up for years. And been built up the right way in the last month or so. And yes, like previous matches, the new Ring of Honor Championship came out. And like the Tag and Pure Championship, it looks almost exactly the same. The only distinctive difference between this one and the Tag Team Championship is it says World instead of Tag Team. Different grapplers on the side. But other than that, it looks almost exactly the same. And I feel the same way about it as I feel about the other ones. Ultimately, I don't think it's an improvement. And ultimately, I really don't like that all three of these championships look almost exactly the same. I don't mind titles looking uniform, but they don't need to look exactly the same. They need to be distinct in and of themselves. Even the older ones that they replaced, yes, they all look very similar, but they had very distinctive characteristics on them. These ones look so similar that you could easily confuse each one for the other. So, whereas I like the design somewhat, definitely not my favorite, I ultimately would say I don't like the titles. So now to the match. It was a really good match. There was a lot of back and forth. There were a few times I really thought that Ed Kingston was going to pull it off and become the new Ring of Honor champion. But after Kingston reversed the Ricola bomb into a roll-up, Claudio Castagnoli reversed that roll-up into another roll-up and got the pin and retained his Ring of Honor championship. What I really do like about this is it says that this isn't done and these guys are going to keep going, probably going to build up to a bigger story. And I like that. Plus, a really good story is being told, building up to the match, in the match itself. It was fantastic. I wouldn't say it earned a 5, but a very solid 4 out of 5. Yay! So, Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor 2023 overall was really good, as would be expected. I like that because Ring of Honor Television is back. They're doing better at building up the matches on the cards. However, some of them still felt a little too thrown together. So hopefully going forward, they continue with the storytelling, the building up. I get Ring of Honor has always been more about sports than entertainment, and that's fine. But they do need to remember the entertainment side and actually build some stuff up and do some continuing stories. The other thing I would say that's kind of hurting Ring of Honor right now is they need their own distinctive roster. A lot of the people on here are also AEW wrestlers. For example, the very next Dynamite, we saw Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, we saw Daniel Garcia, we saw the Lucha Brothers. In fact, the Lucha Brothers on AEW television did an open challenge for their titles. I feel like that's hurting. Ring of Honor championships need to be defended on Ring of Honor television and only on Ring of Honor television. And again, they need their own distinctive rosters. They need people who are exclusively Ring of Honor and people who are exclusively AEW. Basically, I think that Ring of Honor needs to be AEW's version of NXT. And keep it that way. I would say maybe at really big events, like a Double or Nothing or All In, sure, have a couple of Ring of Honor guys come out and defend the titles on those. But not weekly shows. And ultimately, I would say get the titles off of the AEW guys and put them on Ring of Honor guys and keep it separate for a while. It also has excitement when somebody that we've been following on Ring of Honor shows up on Dynamite. Kind of like now in WWE, it's exciting when we're watching NXT, we're seeing somebody who's being built up, and then now they debut on Raw or SmackDown. That's an excitement factor. However, right now, it's more like Raw and SmackDown, where Raw guys and SmackDown guys show up on each other's shows all the time, so who cares? That's really my only criticism there. But the event itself, all the matches were good. Couple of 3s, couple of 4s, couple of 5s. Not a bad match on the card. And based that it was on WrestleMania weekend, it didn't leave me the way WrestleMania did, feeling upset and disappointed. Honestly, WrestleMania, if I had paid for it, like on pay-per-view, not watched on Peacock, I would have wanted my money back. This was worth it. I would give Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, 2023, a solid 4 out of 5. Yay! There you have it. That's my wrestling review this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications for when I post the videos. And leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor 2023. Love you guys.